Well, welcome once again. This is the Doctor of Digital podcast, and my special guest today is Brandon Leibowitz, and he's from SEO Optimizer. So I wanted to chat with him, and of course, we've got some questions from the audience, and a lot of things we want to at least kick around a little bit. Some people are asking things about digital marketing. How do you support your regular marketing efforts? And how do you leverage digital technology to enhance customer experience? And an issue called tech debt. Are you using or over investing in MarTech? But all those things would be helpful. And of course, if you listen to the very end, we'll always have a complimentary offer for you as well. So with that, Brandon, thank you for taking some time out from your schedule. Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on today.
You bet. Sure thing. So what we'd like to know is a little bit about your background. Of course, tell us a little bit and how did you get started in this field in the first place?
I just kind of fell into it after I graduated from college, got my degree in business marketing, and the first job I got out of school was helping a company out with their digital marketing. And I didn't really know much about digital marketing, and they said, "Don't worry, we don't know much either. We're gonna take you to classes and workshops and learn alongside with you," which I thought was kind of interesting. This is back in 2007, and after working there for a few months, just kind of realized that everyone's probably gonna have a website in the future, and there's a lot of different ways to get traffic. And back then I was helping out with their social media, helping out with paid ads, doing some email marketing, doing search engine optimization, and just really focused on the search engine optimization side of things because that's a way to
Okay.
get free traffic. And I thought, why spend money on paid ads if you could get up there for free? And over the years, worked at different advertising agencies as a director of SEO and before work or after work. And on my lunch breaks, I work on my own company and eventually built it up to where I was able to quit my job and been focused solely on this ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's been a fair amount of time, like 15 years or so. Is that right?
Yep.
So, if it's been that 15 years or so, could you tell us a little bit about some of the biggest changes? In other words, what have you seen over time and over this 15 years? Because we realize technology changes really quickly and rapidly, and especially in digital marketing. So, what would you say are some of the biggest changes that you've experienced?
Probably the mobile taking over, and that one's not slowing down anytime soon. But mobile, well, smartphones came out around like 2007, 8-ish. So 5, 6 years after that, then Google really started putting emphasis on making sure your website's mobile friendly. It looks good on mobile. It loads quickly because Google realized back in 2013 that the future is mobile. And they even changed their website where they used to have ads on the right hand side. They took that all away to make Google on desktop the same as it looks on mobile, where it's just one narrow page. And they put emphasis on making sure all websites are mobile friendly or at least responsive, look good on mobile devices, they load quickly, and they actually separated the search algorithms to saying we're having a desktop algorithm and we're also having a mobile one. And now everything is really
Mhm.
just mobile first.
Right.
And that's one big change. But Google really just looks at just quality. They just really all the changes that Google's gone over the years or had done over the years is to stop people spamming them. For the most part, their algorithm hasn't
Yeah.
really changed too much. I mean, it's changed a lot, but the core functionality of keywords and backlinks is still pretty much the main aspects of what Google's looking for. It's just changed how they look at all that stuff over the years.
All right. So we get kind of an overview then of the changes and the biggest change you've seen. Could you speak to say what is happening directly, like right now? In other words, what would you say are some of the hot areas within the field that people can be abreast of and be aware of?
User experience is one that Google now looks at is I could rank your website on Google and I could get you to the number one spot. But if everyone that goes onto Google searches for your keyword and then hits that back button, that shows Google that maybe you aren't the best. So Google now looks at page signals, user experience, how long they stay on your page, making sure, again, like with the mobile, making sure it loads quickly, it looks good, it's easy to navigate, it has all the pertinent information right there. But that is one big part that's going to keep taking a bigger aspect of Google's algorithm. Right now, it's slowly making its way in,
Mm,
but over
mhm.
time, Google's going to keep putting emphasis on it because Google wants the best user experience. If you're searching on Google and then you get to that website and it's not what you're expecting or loads slowly or doesn't look good on that device, you're probably going to hit that back button. And Google doesn't want you to do that. Google wants to give you the best result. So they want your website to be optimized for search engines, but also be optimized for people. Once you get people to your website, to keep them on there, to actually get them to convert into sale, lead, phone call, or whatever that conversion goal is that you're trying to achieve.
Yep. So how is that done? In other words, now we've seen some of the changes. You've talked about that and addressed the hot areas. So let's say typical audience listener is a CEO, a business leader, and what would you recommend that business owners and CEOs should be thinking of? And what do you recommend when they're considering digital marketing or expanding their digital marketing presence?
Yeah, well, if they're looking at that page experience, I would definitely focus on conversion rate optimization, which means optimizing your website for conversions, which a lot of people don't really think about. They just want to build a nice website that looks good, that loads quickly, but they're not thinking about user experience and how to get that visitor into a conversion, wherever that conversion goal is for you, a phone call, an email, filling out a form. But got to make sure your website is really optimized for people, because if not, you'll get traffic, but it's not going to convert. And traffic doesn't do good if it doesn't convert. And that's where you just got to make sure your website has all the pertinent information at the top. So whatever you see on the screen is called above the fold. Once you
Mm,
start scrolling down, that's below the fold. And majority of people never scroll down on the website. I believe it's like 70% of people do not scroll down. So if you don't have all your important information at the top, you're going to lose out on over half your visitors. So you have to have like a value proposition on the top of the website, letting people know what's in it for me. What am I going to get from using your product or service?
okay.
Then maybe have like a video or a couple bullet points, but don't just have a big block of text or one big image, because that doesn't convey much. It doesn't really explain what you offer. You have to
Mm.
let people know what's in it for them immediately, because if you're making people scroll down or read a bunch of text, it's gonna people are gonna hit that back button. Attention spans are really short nowadays, especially on mobile devices where the screen is smaller. You don't get as much real estate to put as much contact or information that you would normally want to put on a desktop computer. So condensing it all and just really making it having the just higher level, have really what needs to be there at the top to convey what you're offering is of value and going to help that person.
So, what would you say then? Let's say got a business owner and they have some of these things and they like to do mobile and they say, I do need some assistance. I realize my website is not the best that it could be. And some of the things that you're saying is really knowing where the fold is, top right, trying to get as much information as possible. But what would you recommend a business owner to be thinking of? What sort of expertise can you bring? I mean, one of the things obviously is SEO because that's in the name itself, but what would you say is your expertise or things that you lend itself to a person reaching out to you?
Focusing on the bigger picture, not just focusing on SEO traffic, because I could get you ranked on Google for all your keywords, but if your website's not optimized for conversions, it's not going to do good. So making sure that we get that traffic to actually convert, because getting traffic is just half the battle. Just like with social media, you get all these followers, but if they're not doing anything, it's not going to do much for you. So how do you get them to take action? And that's where, for at least over the years, that SEO, it's just one part of the puzzle. You have to then run remarketing ads where someone goes to your website
Hmm.
and hits that back button, because majority of the people will hit that back button. You want to follow them around. So like you go on Amazon and you look at a product and you'll buy it. Those ads follow you around. You can do the
Hmm.
same thing with your website. Someone goes to your website, doesn't fill out a form or adds a product to the shopping cart, but doesn't check out. You could follow them around and keep yourself top of mind, because usually you need a couple touch points before somebody actually starts to trust you. And that's for having like an email list and helping out with that, doing social media and just trying to get as many touch points as possible. That way you can build trust for that visitor to actually want to use your product or service.
So you're saying it's what people talk about. It's remarketing that you're able to contact them again and again, and then eventually they'll bring them into the fold. So it's kind of like the funnel that you're describing.
Yeah, you could run the remarketing through paid ads. So that's where you just follow people around. So follow them around pretty much anywhere they go on the internet. If they've been to your website, you can follow them around with those remarketing ads.
Gotcha. So, if a person is interested now that they've heard some of the things that you've done and offered your advice with the background you have, your experience, knowing what's going on, and especially with Google and some of the other aspects of digital marketing, what would you recommend that they do? I mean, this is like a call to action, I guess, in a sense. Maybe you could offer a good call to action. What do people do and how do they reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you?
So anyone that's watching or listening, I create a special gift for them. If they go to my website, seooptimizers.com, that's SEOOptimizers.com/gift. They can find that there along with my contact information and also a bunch of classes I've done over the years. I've thrown up for free so they can watch that anytime. And if they want to also book some time on my calendar, I'm happy to check out their website from an SEO point of view and see what's working, what's not working, and they can book some time on my calendar for free there as well.
Excellent. So that's really a great way to get a hold of it. And especially that's what I say. You listen to the very end, you know, all kinds of free things too. I'll give you a complimentary website analysis, just the idea, but just try to provoke a conversation. Brandon, thanks a lot for coming on the show today. I appreciate you got a lot of expertise and a lot of background. It's really helpful. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for taking some time out and chatting today.
Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Until next time, this is the Dr. Digital Podcast episode. We've got a lot of good information and content for you. Until next time, day is full.